What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the January 20th, 2024 edition of the SmackDown LowDown. Megan Morant, Matt Camp in the studio breaking down last night's show. Didn't think it was the strongest show, kind of an underwhelming effort heading into the Royal Rumble next weekend. But for my full thoughts on the show, you can check out the audio review here on the channel from earlier or the written review over at WrestleRant.com, cheap plug. But as far as this episode goes, they open it up running down the biggest headlines from Friday's show, including recapping the LWO loss, the Legado, pretty fun match, Santos and company going over. We hear from the LWO backstage afterward, Carlito, Wilde, Del Toro, Vega, mostly Carlito and Vega. Toro and Del Wilde didn't say anything. Carlito said it's about damn time he got his hands on Santos Escobar, who he's going to be going one-on-one with on SmackDown next week, and next week he can't run anymore. And he said he's going to show him that you don't turn your back on Familia. Zelina Vega says that she calls him a green screen gangster. That's what she calls Santos, which is actually a pretty good insult, honestly. And then she says that Carlito is going to show him what a real man is. And they hype up Carlito and Escobar for next week's show. They also recap the Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate tag team win over Pretty Deadly. Keywords there. Pete Dunne, he's back on SmackDown. Butch no more, thank fucking God. They also recap the WWE Women's Tag Team title match with Katana Chance and Kaden Carter beating the Unholy Union on SmackDown last night to retain the tag team titles. Head of their challenge next week with the Kabuki Warriors. I didn't mention that in my SmackDown audio review from earlier, but I didn't think they would rush into that match so quickly. I thought they would save that for Elimination Chamber, or maybe, I don't know, closer to WrestleMania. Maybe not at Mania itself. I just didn't think we would get it so soon, because that means to me Kabuki Warriors are probably winning the belts, which would mean that Katana Chance and Kaden Carter were champions for like a fucking month. They've had 2 title defenses, that's better than nothing, but still, you would think they would have had more time with the titles. But nonetheless, they say that we hear from them backstage with Kayla Braxton, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. They just say they're ready for the Kabuki Warriors next week, and that was about it. So they hype up the match in the studio. Matt Camp acknowledges the Kabuki Warriors have not held those tag team titles since March of 2020, so almost 4 years ago, which is crazy. I think they technically would have lost it in April when WrestleMania aired. He's probably going off the fact they taped Mania that year, Mania 36 at the Performance Center during COVID, in March. So I guess technically they haven't. I mean, I'm just nitpicking here, but I think officially WWE recognizes the reign is ending in April, but that's just, again, nitpicking from my part. I thought it was worth noting. I guess it's really not that it's really not that important, obviously. We hear from Bobby Lashley and the Profits coming out of the commercial break. Bobby Lashley says that what Cross said on SmackDown last night from the Final Testament, their message to Lashley and the Profits, was ridiculous. And Montez Ford says that they've been in the ring ready for them multiple times now in the last couple of weeks. And next week, they're going to have a face-to-face showdown in the ring. He says they're not yes men, and next week, it's going to be on site. And obviously, it's a lot more badass when he says it, but those were his words, so I thought I would recite them here. They hype up the showdown for next week. They also recap the LA Knight AJ Styles match in the end of the show with Randy Orton laying out everyone with RKOs. Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, AJ Styles, Roman Reigns. Randy Orton laid out Roman Reigns with an RKO. Back in the studio, they hype up the Fatal 4-Way match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship next week on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And Matt Cam says that LA Knight having no world championships, having not been a prior world champion, AJ Styles has in WWE multiple times and other companies. Roman Reigns has, Randy Orton has, Knight no world titles to his name. And Matt Cam says that might motivate him to walk out as the champion. It won't. He will not win that match. He's probably the least likely to walk out of that match as the champion. I think it's a pretty safe bet Roman will retain, but there is a chance Orton could win. I think there's almost no chance LA Knight wins that match and becomes champion. But I appreciate the attempt here from Camp to kind of make Knight seem like a bigger threat than he actually is. A decent show here from SmackDown LowDown, really nothing worth writing home about, but a pretty straightforward show as we head into the Royal Rumble next week. And speaking of which, they're probably doing an episode ahead of the pay-per-view next Saturday. I will not be able to watch it / review it in time. I'll be at the pay-per-view next weekend, so I'll probably watch it when I can on Sunday or Monday. It will be outdated by that point. It'll be post-Rumble, but the review will be up at some point in the days that follow, so keep an eye out for that. Have an awesome one, guys. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.